Hello guys, I'm your host, the Prime19, and this is King of the Hill.
Hello guys, this is the Prime19 here with my first ever solo commentary for the King of the Hill channel. And today we have a nobleman series between Treeckosaurus, who you should all be relatively familiar with as he has appeared on the King of the Hill channel a few times now. And he is a member of our King of the Hill team as a knight. And Sai, who is new to the King of the Hill channel as he has never had a series appear here, but he is not new to King of the Hill. I believe he's been in King of the Hill for about a month now. No, not a month, way longer than a month, actually a few months. From my past experience playing him, I noticed that he's a very aggressive player, which is very interesting to watch, so we'll see if that carries on in today's series. So, Ice Flow starting map as it is Season 6. You can expect Season 7 to come soon as just a few changes are still being finalized. And on Ice Flow, the most effective strat consists of ice shredding, as you are seeing both players do, which provides lots of economy for a relatively cheap defense. And also, you'll notice that both players are most likely going to have a loadout that consists of ice, mortar, boat, and ninja. Boat and ninja being very key to defend the round 35 COMG rush, and with the loads of economy provided by the ice shredding, you'll notice that late game rushes can be pretty easy to defend. See Sai trying some quick pinks here, and have different pink defenses even though they consist of the same towers, and Treeckosaurus being a little bit more risky with his pink defense, only having two ice towers compared to Sai's 3 ice towers. But the thing is, if you can time your ice perfectly, then you will not need to worry about leaking the pinks, so you'll have more economy with a cheaper defense, which is what you're seeing from Treeckosaurus. But Sai also understanding the importance of no lives lost on a map like this, which if you leak early could be very troubling in the late game. But as Treeckosaurus has timed his ice perfectly, he does not need to worry about that problem. And with pinks being the major early in the game, pinks being the only way to make the other player leak until round 8, which is when Regal Whites come, which are very effective against ice towers, as sometimes the whites just find a way through your defense, which may or may not happen here. And both players maintain their no lives lost, just building up their economy, preparing for their round 8 defenses. Both players still using boats. I believe they're both going to use boats for their defenses. Okay, so Treeckosaurus is going to pull out a mortar, upgraded to, I believe, 1-0, while Sai appears to be getting is that going to be a cannon ship? Yes, a cannon ship for round 8, and from what I've seen of cannon ships, I don't find them to be very reliable to defend Regal Whites. I see that the defense, well, I believe that the defense that Treeckosaurus is using happens to be more effective against Regal Whites in my past experiences. But as you can see, Sai defending perfectly against the Regal Whites, so the cannon ship is proven to be pretty effective, but he is not sending any Regal Whites of his own, at least I haven't seen any. This is a really good chance. Oh, wait! It appears that Treeckosaurus has leaked, and leaking on this map is, like I said, I believe I said, it is a big deal, as in the late game, it is fairly easy to defend these rushes. So, Treeckosaurus is going to have to look for a way to make Sai leak early, even though Sai didn't actually have to do much to get Treeckosaurus to leak. So, Treeckosaurus is going for some quick Regal Whites to get Sai to leak. As you can see, there's the AI Whites and the Regal Whites coming from different directions, which gives his defense some trouble, which gets him to leak. So now he is down on lives. So what's going to happen here is that since both players are going to have their ice shards ready for round 13, Sai's best chance to make Treeckosaurus leak this early in the game would be to go for a camo exploit. But of course, Treeckosaurus is going to prepare for that, both players with their ice shards up, as you can see, which defends against regrow rainbows, regrow ceramics, and AI balloons. So neither player really having to worry about leaking, but Sai should really be looking to make Treeckosaurus leak as soon as possible via camo exploit, because as time winds down, Treeckosaurus' income will grow. Well, both players' income will grow, but as his income will grow, it'll be easier to defend for him to defend both rushes. So yeah, nothing right now. I guess they're just trying to build up their economy for round 18, which is when the player set Moabs are able to be sent. And yes, so what I'd like to mention is that there is an alternative strategy used for this map, which consists of using bomb, which has become obsolete as bomb is not needed to defend against late game rushes and provides less economy. And if you're going to use bomb ninja, it's a little bit more problematic on the early game, as it is harder to defend certain Bloons no lives lost, and you're just pretty much trying to maintain the same economy as somebody using this strat. So in head-to-head, you definitely want to use the ice strat over the bomb ninja or bomb tack strat. And if you were to use bomb tack strat, you'll be a lot safer for certain rushes, such as round 13 rush, but late game rushes would be a lot more difficult to defend. So yeah, so back to the gameplay. As you can see, round 18 has come. Both players with their Moab defense up. Only a few boats necessary to defend Moabs, and as long as they can get the Moab pot before the ice shards, both players are going to be safe. Once again, you can see that Sai defending a bit more than Treeckosaurus, who has less boats and has overall most likely spent less money on his defense. But I'm guessing he probably has more economy, as he has not actually cared as much about life loss as Sai has. And so far, it appears that Treeckosaurus is dominating in this game, but it is still too early to tell, as any rush can be sent, which could have Treeckosaurus down on lives. Treeckosaurus is trying to be extra safe for the next round, which is where natural camel rainbows will come, and Sai could try a camel exploit, which could be pretty effective on this round. Will he try a rush? It appears he's not going to try a rush. Not too important, I guess. And it appears that Sai is saving up his money. Oh, he is leaking the naturals, so he is even more of a problem here. I don't even know why did he sell his. I don't know why he sold his mortar, but whatever. He is not sending any balloons, so it appears that he might be saving up for a rush. Oh, and there comes the pinks. I believe he was probably just saving up for his boat necessary for the round 23 natural Moab. So both players obviously going to use their boat ability there. So what they should be looking to do is get more of a defense up, because not only does round 25 have 2 Moabs, it'd be really ineffective to just buy and resell the boat ability, as the next round would start and the players might be a little bit unprepared for the next round, which also more Moabs comes, 2 Moabs, which continues for a while. And yeah, Treeckosaurus just building up his economy, and Sai once again not sending any balloons, which leads me to believe that he's going to send a rush. And what is he doing? He appears to be getting camo detection on all his boats. I believe that's camo, either that's camo detection or that's 2-1 boats. I don't know why he would do camo detection. I mean, that's not like he has much to worry about there. So Treeckosaurus sending some greens to make sure he conserves his money while being able to defend any rush that Sai could send. And Sai still not sending any balloons. Oh, he's got his regrow. He has regrow clicked, which leads me to believe that he will send a rush eventually. And here comes a regrow rainbow rush, which is most likely going to come with some camos. Let's see if that gets through. That is not going to. Is that going to make Treeckosaurus leak? Oh, he's leaking a bit to the naturals, but he is not down on lives. That rush proving to be rather ineffective, with Treeckosaurus having his 2 mortars and his cannon ship, so he is perfectly able to defend that. And he is getting up more defense because he is worried about leaking to the naturals. As you can see, Sai appears to have leaked a lot to the natural balloons. And he is pulling out the ice ability, so he is at a major disadvantage. And it is looking like the GG as Sai dies to the natural balloons, which is rather unfortunate for him, as he did not get his opportunity to send any sort of rush that could have made Treeckosaurus leak, turning the tables and making Treeckosaurus have to send the late game rush, which would have been rather ineffective, as I mentioned, since due to the tower selection that both players have, it'd be really easy to defend. But regardless, we'll see if Sai can get this back in game 2. So let's go to game 2. So game 2 here, and Sai has selected Battle Park, which is a rather unfortunate, I guess, for the viewers, since this is a very easy map. Not much goes on here except for lots of economy. What I am honestly expecting is some sort of drama between both players, but you never know. Occasionally someone does leak here, which is rather unfortunate, as a leak here, most likely before round 12. Well, if it happens before round 12, is pretty much a guaranteed GG, as water exploits are rather ineffective here with that loop. The water has a chance to hit the pinks twice, and not just that, it probably won't even. It can probably defend infinite pinks as it is. But the good thing about this map, I could say, is that it provides a chance for lots of creative strategies. Possibly even sniper. I could see sniper being used on this map. Probably neither player is using sniper, because in this is King of the Hill, of course, they understand the importance of lives, and that even if this is a joke map, neither player wants to leak, even though that both of them have the 3-0 cannons, which are all that's necessary to defend these early spaced pinks. We'll see if either player tries to send them, even though they probably know that neither will work, unless of course the cannon whiffs, which it actually does often, like you have seen there. So maybe Treeckosaurus might leak to any of the pinks. No, he does not, and neither does Sai. So pinks proving to be rather ineffective, unfortunately. Both players are just going to be able to build up their economy. I guess just prepare for round 6, which is when blacks come, which is another opportunity to have either player leak, assuming that one of the players is greedy with his defense, or some sort of misfortune with the bomb, because if someone does leak here, it's really a matter of some misfortunate event. But both players are highly skilled, so the chances of that are not too high. Once again, I think I'm expecting some sort of draw, but we'll see if that happens. Treeckosaurus going with a load of blacks just to get Sai to leak, and that is not going to happen. Oh, these blacks are happening to get pretty far on Treeckosaurus' side. Very far. Yellow getting through. Is that a blue going through? Oh, that is not good for Treeckosaurus, as he is down on lives, which very well could mean a GG. Sai with a smile, knowing that it is going to be very hard for Treeckosaurus to get him to leak, since it is extremely easy to defend most things on this map. Very, very unfortunate for him. You see the importance of lives, and he should have not been so reckless with his second ninja. The second he saw blacks getting far, or even before that, he should have built his ninja a bit earlier, but we'll see if he can get Sai to leak. So he's sending some quick regrow blacks and regrow whites, doing some layering on top of that. Sai getting some extra ninjas, understanding that he has to maintain all of these lives at this point, or at least 149 lives, and which he's doing perfectly. Selling his ninja, understanding that he has completely defended this rush, and building up his economy for later rushes. And both players just getting up their economy. Nothing special going on here, really. Sai keeping his 3 ninjas. Of course, still worrying a lot about the no lives lost. I guess Treeckosaurus could be a bit more reckless with his no lives lost, since at this point leaking 2 lives. I mean, it's just really. I mean, I'm expecting some sort of major rush to really get Sai to leak, because anything in the late game is pretty much pointless. both players with their mortars up, so that is not going to be an issue. Treeckosaurus going with some camel pinks, which are of course not going to be very effective with the fact that Sai has ninjas, so even if they do get decently far, he could just build some 0-0 ninjas at the bottom there. Okay, so Treeckosaurus pulling out an ice, most likely trying to be a lot more safe against the Regrow Rush, just in case he potentially over-ecoed or something of that matter. But regardless, with the economy that can be provided on this map, he wouldn't even have to worry about any sort of early rushes, as it'd be extremely easy to defend. He'd most likely have something around like 1500 economy by round 20 or so, so no problem with that. And Sai going with his 4-0 cannon to defend against round 13 and from here on, which leads me to believe that he most likely has boats, and if he has boats, that's going to be a huge problem for Treeckosaurus, because it's going to be that much harder to get him to leak to any sort of early rushes, so especially any sort of early COMGs, which would be rather ineffective if Sai does have boat. Okay, so here's Treeckosaurus going with some sort of camel exploit once again. It appears that the pinks are actually getting pretty far. Will he get him to leak? Sai pulling out his extra 0-0 ninjas. Of course, he's not making him leak anytime soon, and it looks like the Regrow Bloons are even going pretty far, but that's not going to matter as he has sufficient defense to defend that. So round 18 coming up, both players still being pretty greedy with their economy, as they know that probably even one mauler could defend the player sent Moabs on round 18. At this point, since this is such an easy map to defend pretty much everything, but regardless, they should still be safe, as anything could happen. Some sort of bomb whiff, as they are relying, especially Sai, because he's relying on the 4-0 bomb, not even the 4-2 bomb, to defend most Bloons. So if that whiffs on anything, that is going to be a major problem for him. But as you can see, as I said, Treeckosaurus with his one Mar, knowing that he doesn't actually need 2 Mars, but in case Sai thinks about sending a Moab, he is conserving his economy, and he's conserving his money by sending Blues to have enough money to defend in case of a early Moab, while raising his economy, and Sai being a bit more safe, just having 2 Moabs, not even having to worry about any sort of Moab rush at the moment. You can see that he has Sai has his ninja upgraded, most likely thinking about having that as a 0-4 ninja in case of any sort of early rush that Treeckosaurus wants to send, because as they get deeper into the game, it's just going to be that much easier for Sai to defend most rushes. And Treeckosaurus, I believe, understanding that, or no, he's not. He still can't go for any. So there's no point in going for any sort of camel exploits at this point, because there's just no chance of him getting the leak, of Sai leaking to camel balloons. And you can see that Treeckosaurus' options are really closing at this point. That early game leak is really detrimental to him. And it's just really hard to recover from early game leaks on this map. And not just this map, it applies to lots of maps where it's extremely easy to defend, or just getting loads of economy. And in fact, with the ice strats that we see available, most maps are actually, a lot of maps at least, I'm not sure if most, but a lot of maps are normalized lost maps, so that proves to be a big problem to leak on these such maps. Sai still with his same defense, and he's got his upgraded ninja in the back, in case of any sort of Bloon randomly manages to get by him. I believe that's going to probably be a 4-2. He used to send any Bloons back to the beginning, and next to his Bloon impact, he is probably going to have another probably 4-2 cannon used to just defend against any sort of ceramics and such. Once again, being very cautious about his defense. And Treeckosaurus, understanding that his opportunity is closing, he's just building up his economy, because he's going to have to send as big as possible as of rushes he could send in the later game. And it's really unfortunate that it has to get to this point for him. But regardless, this is the result of leaking on these maps. Rather unfortunate. Oh, he's going for another camel exploit, which is probably going to be ineffective, as, like I said, Sai has his ninja up ready in case of that sort of rush. Oh, and he uses the sabotage ability, which just renders most rushes that most camo exploits useless in this case. And yeah, so he perfectly defends against that camel exploit. No problems here, just building up their economy because they know that there's going to be at some point a zero MG rush that one of the players is going to have to send. And if I were Treeckosaurus, I mean, I know you don't want to do this in a King of the Hill match, but I mean, there's just no opportunity for him to leak. And if I were him, I would probably just I'd call this match quits. I mean, there's just really no opportunity to get him to leak. It's really just that unfortunate. And even with the lack of defense, you can see that both players have. Treeckosaurus with his 2 maulers still. There's just not much to worry about. I mean, and in case someone does think about sending anything, you can just quick buy anything, as their economy is probably somewhere in like 4,000, maybe 5,000, I would assume. And both players stopping with their economy, knowing that at some point there's going to be the ZOMG rush that Treeckosaurus is going to have to send. We're closing in on the ending rounds, which for me is good because this map is not very entertaining whatsoever. It's just really unfortunate, in my opinion, that this map had to be selected. But when you get these kind of leaks, it makes it really rewarding for the person whoever maintained more lives. It makes it really rewarding. And yeah, so Sai building up a massive defense to defend the COMGs. Treeckosaurus not needing as much defense, just having his ninjas ready, so sabotage ninjas ready. We'll see if Sai can answer that, see how much eco he has. Treeckosaurus saying he has 4,600, which is expected, as it is that easy to get that much economy on this map. Sai is still pretty silent about how much economy he has. I don't think he wants to let Treeckosaurus know, just for the sake of, you know, I guess just not letting him know. I wouldn't see why he wouldn't tell him, but I mean, that's not really that important. Once again, Sai has not pulled out his 4th tower yet. Still continuing to build cannons. I'm guessing he's planning to defend the entirety of the of the ZOMG rush. And here's the first ZOMG. He's probably looking to defend the entirety of the ZOMG rush, even though he could probably get away with it just stalling a lot. But I guess that's not. That's probably not something that he wants to do, just in case. Just wants to simply defend it, because that's also not very difficult for him. And here, Treeckosaurus is sending the ZOMGs spaced to mess with the maulers, I believe, and now Sai is actually looking to have to use the Moab Assassin to defend the ZOMGs. Once again, still not pulling out his 4th tower, so I am very, very, very sure that he has a boat somewhere secretly hidden in here, which he's still not pulling out, even though that one of the ZOMGs is down to BFBs. I don't know why he has not done that. Oh, and there comes the boat. So he can easily defend against that. There are... Oh, wait a second. Has that... Oh, it looks like the BFBs have turned into Moabs, which turned into a larger problem for Treeckosaurus here. So Sai is looking to mortar stall to make sure he does not leak to any of these Bloons. Treeckosaurus is probably down to 0 income, so he has a lot to worry about the natural balloons. And as you can see, that the natural balloons have so much help, the BFBs, that even his, what I believe is 6-7 maulers are not able to crack the BFBs, and the ceramics are extremely fast. And it seems that since he does not have enough money for the ninja ability to buy and resell the ninja ability, he is not doing so. He's just going to wait and see if he can defend until until it becomes a problem, and you can use the ninja ability again. Trying to send some quick camel picks, which were rather ineffective because Sai did have his 2-4 mortar, but as you can see, the Moabs are running right through Treeckosaurus' defense, and that is going to be the GG. A rather long game. I guess if Treeckosaurus had quit earlier, then it would be a more entertaining game, but regardless, he didn't want to give up, which is respected, and Sai is able to claim the win after losing game 1 due to his excellence in game 2 with the no lives lost. But we're going to be off to game 3 and see if which player will gain the advantage on the map that Treeckosaurus is going to select. So game 3 here, and Treeckosaurus has selected pools. And what I'd like to mention is that Treeckosaurus used to have a strat he used here, which has become rather obsolete, unfortunately, but it was rather different than anything anyone else used to use. And I guess because Ice Shards has become better than Ring of Fire, he can no longer use his strat, but I thought it was pretty cool. Some sort of uniqueness in the strategies. But now the strategy that Kerbal made a while back is now the pretty much dominant strategy on this map. So, both players once again using the same, most likely using the same loadout, which consists of Ninja, Ice, Farm, and Mortar. And since this is such a short map, getting Bloon economy is probably not very effective. But I guess can be attempted. But I guess no one uses that since Farm also it works, I guess, for the rushes and whatnot. And yeah, so even though this is the kind of map where you would expect an early like some sort of rush at some point, since this map is too difficult to defend any sort of late game, you still have to look to defend the you still have to look to have a lot of lives going into the late game, into the later game, because you notice that both players are probably going to leak a lot to the natural balloons, and if they start leaking a lot to the natural balloons, a lot to the player sent balloons, it becomes a real issue, and one of the players could just send a really small rush and get him to leak just a bit and have him lose his lives completely. But right now, both players, I believe, are kind of over-defending at this point. I mean, if I were Sai, I wouldn't even need to get my 1-0 ninja that early. Treeckosaurus appears to have upgraded one of his ice to 1-0, I believe, if not 2-0. I'm not completely sure. No, that's 1-0. Or even 0-1. If it was 0-1, I wouldn't see any use for that. But nonetheless, both players just being safe because they understand the importance of lives on every map, even on short maps, because yeah, as what I just stated. So just getting their farm economy up. Once again, worrying about round 8 blue, like round 8 regrow whites. And one of the things that I've noticed that Treeckosaurus does is this really interesting rush that where he layers the whites with the yellows, which kind of messes with the ninjas and has whites going right through the whites going right through the ice and leaving the upgraded ninja to be the last line of defense for the whites, and players would tend to leak a lot. So if either player is going to try to make the other player leak, they should be sending loads of regrow whites. As you can see, Sai is going for his regrow whites, and Treeckosaurus is going for that layered rush I was mentioning. Treeckosaurus is pretty much perfectly defending this these regrow whites, as Sai appears to have leaked a lot to this layering tactic. Is he still leaking? No, he is not still leaking, but he was leaking a lot. Oh, he's still leaking, and you are seeing right here how effective the layering of the whites and the yellows are versus this ninja strategy, as ninjas do not have very much popping power, and they are causing a lot of issues for him. He's having to get his mortar up early to worry about the natural balloons, and he is now down to 35 lives, which is going to be a huge problem, as like I said, Treeckosaurus could just send a really small rush and have Sai in a larger predicament than he's already in. Both players looking here to the natural Bloons, and oh my goodness, is Sai gonna die? Oh my goodness, he is not even dying. He is very close to dying to the natural Bloons, but he is still hanging on with 3 lives. Looking like he's gonna have to send some sort of rush at this point, just as his last chance of winning. Or maybe he should worry a bit more about natural Bloons, but regardless, he's going to looking like he's going to send a rush at some point. And here's his rush. Regrow rainbows on top of some rather late layering, I guess, maybe to have the ninja be thrown off by the natural Bloons, but that is looking to be ineffective as Treeckosaurus has grabbed game 3. Well played by him, maintaining a lot more lives than Sai, who was rather reckless when defending the layering tactic of Treeckosaurus, and if he chose to maybe use the same tactic as Treeckosaurus, he probably would have had more chance to survive, but did not. But we'll see if Sai could catch up to Treeckosaurus, who's up 2-1 in going into game 4. So game 4 here, guys, and it appears that Sai has selected A game. And yet another thing I like to say about Treeckosaurus is that he has a very interesting strat, which based on where it looks like he's going to place his ice, he's not going to use it here. Probably looking for a win, as having mortar is a better choice than what I would have about to say. He actually has a strat that uses wizard on this map, and I guess you could say it's effective. I mean, I'm sure he's won games with it, but having wizard for camo detection is rather hard to have. But yeah, he has a strategy where he has wizard on this map, which would be pretty cool to see and to look out for. As you can see, both players with different spots for their ice. And up to this point, we've seen that both players have had pretty similar defenses on most maps. Treeckosaurus' ice spots here is most likely to defend better against the Bloons that come out of Moabs. While I guess Sai's using a strategy I've actually never seen to this point, where he's going to have his 2-0 ice defend against group Bloons, and he's going to have a ninja to do some sort of cleanup and defense against the pigs, since the ice is completely whiffing on the pigs, which is completely understandable since he is not ice shredding. We'll see if Treeckosaurus can take more advantage of the defense that Sai has, since it appears that it didn't work out too well the first time. But now it looks like he actually has enough defense, probably just late getting up that second ninja, but it seems to be working out perfectly for him. Treeckosaurus, I believe, maintaining no lives lost up to this point, continuing to send income Bloons. We'll see if he gets his farms up anytime soon, as most people use farms on this map, because a lot of rushes on this map are very hard to defend. I believe Treeckosaurus is calling for wizards based on Sai's ninja placement. Once again, Sai not responding. I guess he's just not feeling like talking while he's playing. Probably just trying to focus on the game, which is a good idea. You wouldn't want to get caught doing something else and then something goes wrong. You end up leaking like 50 lives or something. He sees Sai getting up his second ice with the chances of the group greens getting past the single snap freeze. Once again, Treeckosaurus still trying to exploit that defense with using pinks, but rather ineffective, of course, as I'm guessing Sai has tested that strat quite a few times. Treeckosaurus, let's see if he's using a cannon. Is he going to use a cannon to defend the regrow whites? No, once again, he's upgrading his ice. I guess he has some sort of idea where he upgrades his ice to, I'm not sure if that's 1-0. I believe that's 1-0. I don't know if that was 1-0, but 1-0 to defend against regrow whites. But as you can see, okay, so Sai going for some quick regrow whites. Treeckosaurus not getting up his defense in time, and he leaked quite a lot to those. I believe now he should be safe, and Sai whites are just running right through his defense, as the ninjas he has placed are just not enough to defend the just player sent whites, having to get an extra ninja to defend against those, and his whites are, and his ice is not helping him in that regard whatsoever. So that happens to be pretty problematic. Both players just getting their defenses up for upcoming rounds. Treeckosaurus stopped with his economy, assuming that potentially Sai could send some sort of rush. Going for some quick grouped whites, which I don't know why he did that. That was a lot of money. Not too much money spent, but rather ineffective money spent. And with the mortar, he should be able to tell that that would have probably been pretty ineffective as it is. But regardless, he sends it, no big problem. He has his rushes up, so he appears to be safe to Regal rushes. And Sai also has his Regal, shards up, and he sells a farm. Here comes a Regal Rainbow Rush, followed by some camos. As you can see, the Regal Rainbows happen to be popped, but the camos are not being popped, looking like Treeckosaurus is going to go down to 0 lives, and that is going to be the GG. Sai choosing an excellent rush to send against Treeckosaurus. It appears that the ice hindered the popping power of the ninja when it was freezing the balloons. The Regal Rainbows, I mean, and that just caused his ninja to be rather ineffective against the camos, and just not being able to micro his mortar fast enough, he died. But that is okay, guys. We have a game 5, and we'll see what Treeckosaurus uses in this final game. So game 5, and Treeckosaurus has chosen Hydro Dam, which is a very common map, if not the most common map. Actually, no, maybe pools. Most common map chosen outside of Ice Flow. Ice Flow being the starting map, of course it's going to be chosen the most. Both players going with different strategies here. Sai's got his boat out, which is a pretty old but common strat. And Treeckosaurus has his ninja. Both starting with their ninja mortar. So far spent the same amount of money on spending the same amount of money on defense. And the cool thing about this map, and this is just a personal favorite, which could change, is that ice does not work on this map very well. As it stands, ice is not a completely viable strat here yet, so you get to see no garbage stuff from ice shards, which is pretty cool, which I really like. Players actually having to defend using like micro skills and such. But regardless, this map, just like pools, you want to maintain lives, but I mean, you're not going into the late game with these kind of towers, so leaking lives is, unlike pools in that regard, you don't have to worry as much about leaking early. Sai is sending a load of spaced pinks. I don't know why he's sending so many, but he is. I guess he wants Treeckosaurus to be significantly down on lives, in which case he is. And now Treeckosaurus is sending a load of pinks, which are going to be rather ineffective, as 3 boats defend space pinks very well on this map. Placed on last, as you can see, Sai perfectly defending on those. Both players going with farms. What I'm expecting from Sai is to have either tack shooter or a boomer to defend the Regal Rainbows. While Treeckosaurus, I guess, based on its positioning of his ninja, I would assume he has boomerang. I don't know if we saw the selection screen. I wasn't actually paying attention to that. But yeah, I'm assuming he has boomerang. Yeah, both players going with some quick blacks, see if they can get each other to leak. Treeckosaurus gets up his 3-1 ninja just to be a bit more safe. Sai leaking just a bit, but nothing significant, as he is still ahead in lives. As you can see, he pulls out his boomer, necessary to defend rods, as I said. And Treeckosaurus also with his boomer, which is also necessary to defend the rod. Both players with about equal farm economy, except size is a bit higher with the 1-0 farm, but I'm assuming that since Treeckosaurus has sent more balloons to this point, he actually has more balloon economy. Instead, going with a rather ineffective but quick Regal Yellowish, which was, I guess, money wasted. But regardless, it's rushed nonetheless. I guess he just wants Treeckosaurus to probably have to build more money on his boomerang to get to 3-0, probably scaring him into spending more money, which he did not do. Treeckosaurus still with some greed, still with a relatively small defense. So both players stopping with their are not sending any more balloons. Actually, you can see Treeckosaurus actually going with some quick leads. See if that does anything. At least Treeckosaurus might leak a bit to these. He's being forced to get his 3-0 boomerang up, and Sai actually being relentless with the balloons here, going with a load of regrow zebras, followed by some camel pinks. I don't know why he's doing so much to get Treeckosaurus to leak so early, but he is. While Sai forgets his camo defense, and Treeckosaurus loses a lot of money with not collecting those bananas. I guess both players with some mistakes there. And here's Sai, appearing to go with a huge, not too big actually, regrow rainbow rush, followed by some camel pinks, which is doing absolutely nothing, as the ninjas have proven to be enough with the 2 boomerangs, and Sai, in a desperate attempt to get this win, is sending his final camel pinks, but is not able to kill Treeckosaurus, who sends pinks, and that is going to be the GG. 3-2 win by Treeckosaurus. Excellent playing by both players, with some mistakes made by both players. Clearly Treeckosaurus coming on top, being able to defend most of Sai's rushes. So great job to him. Well played by Sai, even in the games that he lost. Nonetheless, very close series. Well played by both. And as a little ending note, as my first commentary for the King of the Hill channel, I kind of want some feedback on what you guys thought, what I could do better, what I could do worse. If you guys want me to do another one, actually, regardless, I will be doing at least one more, or at least 2, maybe 3 more, as I've had a few requests to do commentaries. But what I can improve on at the very least would be really, really helpful for me. See what I can do better. Nonetheless, it's been a King of the Hill series today for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it, as I did, except for in Battle Park. Nonetheless, hope you guys continue to watch, and have yourselves a good day.